There's a lot of places where the emergency number doubles up, like it redirects to the real emergency number because
people hear
people
it
on
cinema.
They're like, oh, I guess that's the universal emergency number.
Yeah, it will redirect it.
Yeah, it will redirect.
But in America, they're so used to saying 911 that they actually don't know the number for 911.
Quick, give me the number for 911.
What is it?
Damn it! America.
So familiar. I should know this.
I just said it.
I should know this. It is the 20th of November 2013 and today I'm here with Michael. Hey guys. Ivan. Hey. Pat. Hey. Hey.
Pat just hit puberty and his voice was cracked then.
Yeah, sorry. so that's Patrick. And now we got Dennis as usual. And today, very first time guest, special guest, we've got Grace. Grace.
Thanks for having
How are you? No worries, Grace.
Wow,
I don't know.
things weird,
I don't know. No, it can't get any more weird than this.
You need to speak up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like just fucking.
I have a
just
low.
go.
Then you need to be about this close.
Yeah.
It's okay, just like this.
Yeah.
It's okay, like this.
I'll just hold it like my cup.
So yeah, this is the fourth episode of Chinese Whispers, and today we're going to continue off of the previous episode of education, but this time around we're going to focus on the tertiary side of it, so university, TAFE, what have you, and then what we think about the whole experience. But before that, I guess we should go to Grace, have her introduce herself a little bit, so we know who she is, what she's all about. So yeah, Grace.
Alright, so my name's Grace, amping up the volume.
Amping it up. Alright.
I've been on a bit of a career change, so I'm a graphic design student now, finishing up in a few days. On the crux of a big decision whether I'm going to go on with some more graphic design next year, pursue film and animation, or do something else altogether differently. It's me. Thanks for having me here. In case you hear me.
That's fine. So you're kind of at a crossroads right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
So with regards to this podcast, I've done the uni thing for a while. Went to work and then now I'm back at TAFE.
Where do you want to run us through what you did in uni?
Right, so so I did a business degree, co-op for 3 years, and I'm staring at this recorder thing like it can hear me. Like you can.
Should we just put a face on?
Just pretend it's phallic.
It's kind of dual phallic.
It's phallic in stereo, not just
It's XY phallic. Well, now she's definitely not going to stare at it. Hey, you never know. Now I'm going to stare at it. We didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
But what did you do at uni? What was it again?
So I did a business degree.
Yep.
And then I worked for a while. But while I was doing my business degree, I did a bit of illustration on the side, so I sort of thought I'd look into that a bit more. So hence why I'm back at TAFE.
Yeah. TAFE.
TAFE.
And
Yeah.
I love TAFE.
Guys are doing crazy gestures.
And from now and into the future, she's going to be one of our editors.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, so video editing is a new love. So it's interesting when you.
So from business degrees to
From business, because once you're out in the workforce, you get used to working, earning some nice income, and having a bit of there's a certain kind of freedom with how you can run your life and go on holidays, go out with your friends, lunch, dinner, that kind of thing. But so it was a bit of a difficult decision to go back to study, and so I really resisted the idea of going back to study, especially another degree, because originally I was intending to do well, my teacher for illustration in second year uni was saying you should come and do a degree in business communications at UTS, which is a pretty solid degree. And I thought about it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to study for another 4 years. I thought, that's a pretty long time.
Hey, you're still young. You should do it.
Do it?
YOLO. YOLO, slag.
Well, YOLO, I want to go traveling and
I mean, I'm still at fucking uni. You're making me feel bad.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you're making me feel bad by
that's
still
what
being
I
at
did.
uni.
Just saying.
Maybe it was just a personal thing, because I thought 3 years at uni was a pretty long time.
So how much more do you have to go?
So I'm done, I guess, for this year. So
And do you graduate or stuff? Or?
Yeah. So I graduate. I've got a grad show in a week's time.
Nice.
Are we invited?
Yeah, we invited.
For sure.
Oh, congratulations.
Even
So my work's all digital, so it's all online. So pretty much my grad show is like my website. But
okay.
you definitely get to see everyone else's work stuff in print. Yeah, mine's all digital work.
digital graduation.
Digital graduation, way of the future.
That's the first time I've heard of it.
Do you throw a digital?
I'd say digital flowers.
Do we all
Send me a
Skype in on webcam and congratulate
Take
you?
photos,
Take photos, screenshots on this digital graduation.
Do you guys remember those Facebook apps where you send gifts to one another? Does anyone still use that?
Yeah,
stuff?
like those poke
Just
things.
send here's some teddy bears.
Oh my god,
flowers.
dude! Speaking of digital graduation and screenshots and all that bullshit, bit strips.
Yeah.
Bit strips. What's okay? I need to know. What's your opinion on it? I know Michael uses it, so he's automatically a dickhead.
Hey, I would be a bigger dickhead if that app would stop crashing on me.
So you still use it even though it treats you like that?
Like, I really wish it wouldn't crash all the time, so that I could give you more of what you don't like.
That's
Don't we all just want to make Henry suffer?
no.
Just a little bit more every day.
But you're making yourself suffer as well.
So what is this app?
What?
He makes like cartoons on
Have you seen
Facebook.
cartoons
Comic
on Facebook
Kinda
wall?
like
Like some comic strip.
No, I haven't seen it.
Are you
Okay.
envious of her that she has escaped this
Yes,
crisis?
I'm
that
actually-
you're
I'm
in
actually
now?
a little
She's
envious
untainted by
because-
the bit strip.
Yeah, I think I've seen too many bit strips there.
And
I
they're
think the first
also-
one was too many already.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I've seen like
They should
25,000
not exist.
now.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I think I'll have it for my digital graduation.
Yeah, do it.
Grace is graduating.
I'm so not
with her
attending your
friends.
digital graduation. I'm so not digitally attending that.
Not attending. Not even a maybe.
Yeah,
Straight out.
I just saw that one day. I was like, what is this rubbish? Is this?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as when you watch a Vine for the first time. You're like, what the fuck is this 7-second clip? Why should I bother watching this shit?
The vines were funny. Like,
Yeah, but
I
Vines are funny, yeah.
Yeah, but this
Those
one.
bit strips are I don't know.
Anything
pointless.
but.
None of them are funny.
Hey, at least if you're not the one who's tagged in it, at least it doesn't pop up in your
In your feed,
notification.
yeah.
At least it's not as bad as like those game invites.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
game
that's true.
invites.
True. Oh shit!
If
so
I get
anyway,
one more Candy Crush invite,
Fuck
I'm going to
Candy
crush somebody's.
I'm pretty sure
candies.
Candy Crush is like on the downturn now. It's like dying off because I haven't heard about that in a while, except
Really?
just then.
Oh, clearly, I'm a lot older than you guys, so my demographic found it much later.
It's Rescue
Oh my
Pet
God,
Saga now.
Dude, you're
It's
gonna
like
be
some
stuck with
strange
it for another
epidemic
6 months.
that climbs up the age group.
It's like, don't worry, we'll tell you what happens. You're going to be stuck with it for the next 6 months, and then you're going to start seeing more bit strips.
Yep, exactly, exactly right.
God. But anyway, go back to education. So yep, that's Grace in a nutshell. But yeah, I mean, for the rest of you guys, how did you find that university life? If you did go to university or TAFE, what have you, like, how did you find it? Does anybody want
Michael, what do you...
What do you?
What
Very
do you
good.
think,
That's
Michael?
very good hosting, Ivan. That's exactly what I need from you. You've given it
You know what I feel like? I feel like we're playing mahjong.
Why?
And
There's no
he's the
shuffling.
guy right before me. He's the guy who gives me everything.
So yeah, what did you do after high school? Run us through till now. High school till now.
So what I did after high school,
30 seconds, go.
I went to uni.
Which uni?
Which uni, what did you study?
Yeah, everything.
I went to New South
Yeah.
to study Bachelor of Science Media and Communication. It was fun. Yeah.
How long was the course?
It was a 3-year degree, which I stretched over for an indefinite amount of time.
What do you mean?
There's a
Yeah.
story here.
Okay. Basically, I'm just going to make it really simple. I finished all my media courses, which were my core subjects. But being a science degree as well, I had to do science as well. Yeah, I failed quite a few of those, statistic classes.
I see. So you kind of kept bashing your head against the wall until the wall just like, all right, man, just whatever.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
So that,
I've done statistics.
I was kind of like in limbo, like in university limbo.
Yeah.
Due to that, and because I kept doing so bad that like they wouldn't let me change courses either.
That's pretty bad.
There was no exit.
So
That
like
is
I
actually
can't
limbo.
change course and I can't pass. So
Wow.
yeah.
But eventually you did.
No, I didn't.
What?
Eventually,
I don't understand how you got out of this hellhole.
well, eventually I
You sucked the professor's dick.
You took indefinite leave.
I took
I
a
was
leave
like,
there.
how did he
That's not
graduate?
everyone.
How did he graduate?
You lost a lot of money, I'm assuming.
What do you mean?
Like, because you have to pay for the classes you failed. And
Yeah, it's not a hate.
Oh well,
like,
it's
the hell.
well. I mean, end of the day, it's not that much money. I mean, compared to
Compared to
other
what you're going to
courses.
make in your
yeah,
life.
and
but-
this was an
yeah.
undergrad, and I'm
It's
assuming
undergrad,
you had
yeah,
like
it's not.
help.
I'm not that bummed about it.
Yeah,
And it's not like I have to pay now, so I'm not that bummed about it. I mean, thank you, Australia.
Hex.
Yeah, for me, Australia's great for that.
No, but then after that, I just, I've always been into photography, and at that point, I've already been freelancing for three and a half.
Yeah,
maybe
so while
4
you were
years.
studying, you were doing the photography.
Yeah. So, I decided, hey, like if I want to do this seriously, maybe it would help, if I actually study something like that. And I have thought about, studying like say COFA or College of Arts. But what I've heard from other friends and other sources, what you do in uni, as in terms of photography, it's actually very theory related. And you don't actually have like a Bachelor of Photography. You have to do Bachelor of Fine Arts, major in
Right.
photography.
Yeah.
And then all that it comes with a package. All that stuff you don't need.
Yeah, I get it.
You just want the practical taking place.
Yeah.
Like
He just wants to take pics. He just wants to take selfies and shit.
I want to take selfies.
Selfies is a real word in the Oxford Dictionary, by the way.
Nice.
It's not nice. I don't
It got included like
I hate it.
a year ago, didn't it, or something like that?
I don't know how long ago, but I was told
Apparently
again.
it's working for the dictionary.
Yeah, goddamn.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's
We know you put
it
it
just
back.
gets worse and worse.
We're butchering the English language.
I'm not butchering it. I didn't. I didn't
YOLO! Swag!
No. I always use it in a self-ironic kind of way.
It always starts off ironic,
And then
and then it
becomes a
becomes
part of
part
you.
of vernacular.
Until it becomes a part of you, and then you're like, oh my god.
What have I become? Sorry.
So yeah. So did you end up doing fine master degree or what?
No, so then I actually
So much for simple rundown.
I took a risk. I took a risk and I went to do diploma of photo imaging,
Okay.
which totally sucks.
What was it? It was not photography.
It is photography, but like I was just talking to Patrick the other day. I was telling him. Actually, was it today? Or was it yesterday?
yesterday.
I don't know if the thing can pick that up.
Sorry, I'm just accustomed to some actions.
He's a custom.
he's accustomed to action,
Habitual.
unlike some of
He's
us.
accustomed to action.
To some actions. Sorry,
Right.
go on.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael?
I mean, like I was just having a conversation with Patrick yesterday, and I was just telling him, like, sometimes I watch tutorials or informational videos, like just online, like YouTube or something. Like I can quite honestly tell you that I probably learn more in an hour than I have in like a whole year of that shit.
That's it, kids. You don't need to go to uni. Just YouTube and Google your way to success.
Actually,
Ivan will
that's
get back to you more on that
pretty
later.
Yeah, I can't.
I actually think that's probably one of the prime ways to learn. And I think university isn't really about learning at all. It's all about producing a signal, basically, to say that you can learn and that you have accomplished things. Yeah, rather than actually applying it.
It's always like a socially acceptable space for you to
Well,
be
I
in
mean,
high school.
it's if you even look back at primary school and kindergarten, it's sort of like they teach you what's right and wrong, to abide the law, to respect authority, things like that. So it's already social conditioning at like when you're 4 years old.
Sure. So the internet just gives you so many more like places to be conditioned from, kind of thing. So many more
Internet
voices
is
to listen
free.
to.
There is no conditioning on the internet.
Besides how much
Unless
you
if
pay
you
them.
want there to be. But generally, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck. Yeah.
So you're saying that you learn more like off YouTube or whatnot than your photo imaging, like
Yeah, I'm quite serious about that.
yeah.
You know, me, Patrick Dennis. You know, we're into this video thing right now, and a lot
Have you
of
guys
it-
come up with a name yet?
No.
This is
We
what
were
we're gonna do.
considering Gaylords.
But it's taken.
You know,
But
it's
it's-
no.
Legit.
What a
Legit.
shame.
Only reason.
Yeah, it is a shame.
It is strange.
Because we would have. Yeah.
because we would have been like,
You guys are really down and out.
Gaylord's production.
Sorry, inside joke.
Not very inside.
Yeah, I also in your
actually.
spare time you need to help these guys think of a name for their filming group because they need it. Otherwise they can't
I'll
release
send you my
any
script and
content.
read something.
All this hard work would have been for nothing.
That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
It's like the hardest part wasn't the filming, it wasn't the script, it was the name. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I definitely agree. It's
How
important.
long did it take you to figure out your name for the podcast, man?
Almost a month, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys don't have that luxury.
But by Friday then, pretty much. Do you guys need a name to stick onto the thing?
Maybe. I mean, it depends.
It depends
By
if we want to
Friday is
release
when we
it.
want to finish the video by,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean we have to
We have
release
to
it on
release
Friday.
A couple more days. Released by Untitled.
Untitled.
TBA.
Unknown.
Yeah.
In the press.
Well, Steve Jobs and Wozniak, when they made Apple, apparently they couldn't think of a name for the longest time. They went through all these like something computer.
Seriously, what kind of a fucking name is Apple?
they went through oranges, they went through the bananas.
They went through all the
And then
They went through
Alpha.
porn.
Yeah.
They went back to the
Lion.
first letter. They're
Ah.
like, you know what? Apple. We've got this.
What brilliance! What brilliance!
You know, if you guys are stuck, you guys can always call yourselves Wang Fu. Like, and then, you know.
Patrick always fell off his chair. That was the kind
That was as good as it gets.
Okay, is there anything else you wanted to talk about in your experience, Michael? So you learn more
I
on
don't
the
even know
internet
what else. Oh yeah.
than from there.
Yeah, so like, you know, we're doing a lot of things and we're learning as we're going, and the rate that you can find information, you know, like on what you need to know is just phenomenal. And the good thing about it is if you don't think it's right, if you don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, then
You don't have to
can
argue
quickly
against
find
the
another one.
teacher or like
There's no
debate
one to
marks
argue
or
with,
bullshit
there's
like
no one to
that.
debate with.
Yeah.
You just do it. If it doesn't work, try the next one.
But yeah, well, what I brought up earlier about Ivan, how he learned so much from the internet and stuff, I think if we talk about his experiences with tertiary education up till, you know, entering the workforce, I think the internet or the YouTube or Google, whatever, like helped him particularly. Do you want to share it?
Do you want the long story or kind of like?
Yeah, like we barely have you on these days, and I don't know when the next time I'm gonna get you is. So I want to hear everything from you for as long as possible.
Oh really? Okay, so I was actually talking to Grace about this before, and like most people, when you don't really know what you want to do, because like at 17, you're asking a kid, you know, what do you want to do for the rest of your life, and it's a very tough question to answer because like you're a kid, like I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. So a lot of us, we end up choosing like business or commerce because
They don't have
that's
the work
like,
experience at that age to inform themselves of the
exactly.
decision.
It's kind of open-ended enough to kind of do some different things. All your friends are doing it, so you're just like, all right, I'll just do it, right? And then a lot of, you know, once you get in there, you know, a lot of it doesn't actually relate to the real world, and I think especially business, I don't think I actually got any hard skills out of that particular degree that I apply now, but I think it did teach me certain soft skills, and perhaps it did teach me how to think in a different kind of way, and perhaps in a more business-minded way.
So what did you do at uni?
I studied business
Okay, at UNSW.
UTS, so I ended up majoring in advertising, and I ended up doing advertising for 3 years when I got out of it. And Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely something that I really wanted to do. But having said that, I don't necessarily believe tertiary education it taught me any particular hard skills that helped me there. But on the other hand, Google taught me everything. It
Google
literally,
like my father.
it literally taught me how to do my
How
job.
to ride my bike.
Yeah, and today, the job that I have today, I can pretty much thank Google. Google is the reason why I have the job, because
Shout out to my boy Google.
yeah, shout out to all my search engines, all the past and present, Alta Vista, Ask Jeeves, Dogpile, Hasta La Vista, remember that one? Yeah, Yahoo as well.
Baidu for free music.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
Free music, okay. Like Chinese music?
Yeah,
or
well,
just
everything.
music?
It all starts.
Oh, fair enough.
Harry's coming.
Okay, sweet.
Update. Sorry to interrupt, Sir Ivan, Godfather Ivan. Harry, another friend of mine, he's coming today. So this is going to be our biggest podcast episode to date. This could get wild or not.
No, it'll fizzle
As
out.
wild as a podcast.
You've raised the expectations
All right,
too
cut.
high.
We're finishing it tonight. We're done, and this is the 4th episode. See you later.
And
Yeah, bye. Sorry, go back to Ivan.
I can't remember.
You were
what I
saying
said.
You were saying Google taught you
Like in
heaps,
the
and
Google
then
engines.
Yeah. So like Google pretty much gave me the job I have today. I remember when I first left from agency to go to client side. And this is probably not a good idea to say, but they asked me, "Oh, do you know how to do this particular thing?" And I said, "Yes," and I didn't. And when they gave it to me, I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And I went to Google and I found out how to do it, and then I got it done, and that's how I.
then they kept giving you more.
Yeah, and that's how I learned. Like I literally
Nice.
learned like that. You know, like I learned on the job. I learned from Google, and I think exactly as what you said. It's you don't have to argue with anyone. Like these, like especially what I do is pretty cutting edge. So no university will teach this.
Step back.
No university even. They're not even capable of teaching it because this
Yes,
thing happens
university is
so
always
quickly.
lagging behind the industry.
Yeah,
in that
because I
regard,
work in the digital industry. So therefore, I work a lot in social media. I work a lot in search engine optimization, in the digital advertising space now. And there's just no way that any university professor can teach you any of this stuff. Like you really need to be in it. You need to have hands-on experience.
Yeah.
And most of that stuff you just learn on the job.
Yeah.
And Google is your best friend in this respect. And that's the only reason why I am where I am today. And I can only thank
That's real talk right there. That's
the
legit.
Google lords,
Google
who are
lords.
Skynet, and everything else as well. I mean, we love you, Google.
Hey, if anybody from Google's listening, a lot of people hate the way you've integrated YouTube and Google Plus. It's really stupid. So please fix that. Thanks in advance.
but we still want to be on your good side because you're Skynet.
Don't give out info to the NSA. Thanks.
I'm pretty sure they're already doing that, by the way.
Alright, well, it's your turn, Patrick, since we're going around the circle
We're
today.
going around.
What'd you do at uni? Where'd you do it? How long? All that.
I studied at university straight out of high school. I studied commerce at UNSW. I
So
finished
in a way, you're similar to Grace.
in a
your
way.
situation.
In a way. Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah.
You guys can be.
So can I ask you why you decided to choose what you studied?
Before I graduated, I was
Graduated
interested
high school.
Graduated high school. I was interested in marketing, and so I wanted to study marketing. And through commerce, I could do that. Why I chose UNSW? Most of my friends were going to go to UNSW. And I used to live in the area, okay, and we'd always drive past UNSW, and my parents would be like, one day you'll go to this school.
One day you will go to this big ugly building.
And you'll go here.
One day you'll go to this big, tall, ugly building. Be happy about it.
That's the Asian parents. Dream big. One day you will study here. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for that.
So I won't own it. I only study here. Thanks.
So yeah, this is at UTS you did.
UNSW.
You're not, fuck, I'm an idiot. You're not. I'm clearly paying attention.
I was UTS.
And so I finished that. And I wasn't really before I graduated in university, before I graduated in commerce, I was already sort of losing my interest in the degree.
Yeah.
Marketing didn't turn out the way that I sort of imagined it would be, and I didn't really want to pursue marketing nor anything within that industry related.
May I
business
ask why?
related.
What turned you off?
He's a creative person.
Yeah, I just didn't really.
It was
wasn't
just
my
your
sort of
own
thing.
personal-
So you didn't want to
Yeah.
cater to like an audience or like do a specific thing like that, or
Yeah, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it.
I've done a little bit of marketing, and what I know is it's not all fancy creative. As
it's
it
not
is.
creative. It's like working in parameters basically.
It's working with parameters. It's your market research.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's a lot of those other not so fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And I was
then-
really disappointed.
So
with,
was I
with
actually.
marketing.
Yeah, but it's
'Cause
just a part of it.
Yeah.
There's a creative side and there's this completely data-based logical side of marketing as well. So
Well,
you can't escape either or. You have to use both of them.
I was disappointed in that guy.
Oh, shots fired.
I'm sure my art teachers were too.
Yeah, I'm sure Miss W.
Miss W. And even
Not gonna
Miss
name
B.
no names.
Miss B too.
But,
Yeah,
She was.
she was female. You can find her.
me too.
When I told her
That you want to study marketing,
that I was gonna do that.
do business. Yeah.
I mean, he was visual
But look
arts,
at you now.
HSC, top of the class, top of tech. Not saying something.
Pro.
And our year was like
We were pretty.
top of South.
There's so much like brotherly love here. I feel like
just caught
I'm
the
just
middle.
overjoyed. I'm just like,
flowing through
I just
you.
want to stand like in the middle, like this.
Nuzzle the air.
Feel,
Nuzzle
like,
the air.
I never feel love like this.
Love like
That's okay. I'll take what I can get.
Okay, so you went to UNSW, you did your course, and you finished it.
I finished
right?
it.
You finished it, and
And then half a year later, before that half year passed, I already started enrolling in digital media at COFA.
nice.
Because I knew I wasn't very successful with applications. I never went through with the whole internship second year or first year, and then that pretty much secured a spot in not getting a graduation position with the firms that I was applying for. So I sort of had a feeling that I wouldn't really progress in that industry anyway. So as a safety net, or not as a safety net, but as moving forward before I delayed it any further, I enrolled anyway into digital media, and I just opted for studying without sort of pursuing that area anymore, the business area anymore.
Yeah.
So I sort of put it behind me before I ever really tried. I did try a bit, but then
You didn't want to get your fingers dirty.
yeah, I wasn't very confident.
I was overjoyed.
Mark was like, "Yeah, that was the right move, man. You did the right thing. Good on you. Proud. Give me a hug. Come here, let me touch you."
We hugged it out.
I want to be part of this.
It just keeps going,
I want to
like,
be in the middle.
I don't know. Keeps going.
I want to be the ice cream in the middle of this ice cream sandwich.
Sandwich. Ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna go for an ice cream sandwich right now. So are you,
Is that a euphemism?
What was a euphemism when you?
Yeah, that's not
We just want to clarify.
chocolate or vanilla? I don't know. So are you still doing your media?
Yes, digital media.
Get your
Digital
stupid
media.
ass names for the courses.
Yep, I've got
Digital
one more year
media.
left.
I'm not
What are your thoughts on the change and doing a different course now?
I'm definitely
Happy.
much happier. My marks are much better. I'm just
You're enjoying it all.
I'm enjoying a lot more, and I sort of felt like I found the area.
Found your love.
I found the love.
Are you gonna marry it?
Only if it's
You like it
yes.
so much. Why don't you marry it?
I'm working towards it.
Working towards the ring.
The ring. We've only been going out for 2 years. 1 more year. I'll wait 1 more year. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it much more.
That's good.
And but still, having said that, my interests are still changing within that faculty.
You're kind of trying to narrow it down even more.
Because digital media is such broad. It's sort of like the commerce of the arts.
Yeah, that makes
There
sense.
are so many options to choose from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so going into it, I was hoping to pursue 3D animation, 3D modeling, work in making 3D animation, 3D movies in the future.
Yeah.
Having studied that, it's really interesting, really great, but then I'm starting to deviate towards filmmaking, cinematography, and that side of the digital world. So, it's still changing really, but that's why I chose that degree, to sort of explore and find out what I really am passionate about. And yeah, it's just great learning a bit of everything.
And it's not just that your passions are changing. The digital media industry, and digital media in general, is changing just as quickly.
Which is the most interesting part. It's what makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in the past,
Very exciting.
films and 2 hours long, and then you have short films, and now you have YouTube clips, and they're just getting shorter and shorter. And they're saying the ideal time is 3 minutes. It's like I do a lot of social media analysis, and we look at certain days to post certain.
Well, even with YouTube, even with YouTube videos now, if your audience can last more than an hour, it gets bumped up in SEO by heaps, for example. So if you've got a half-hour clip to an hour clip, it's going to have much more success in terms of SEO and things like that. If your audience can...
Alright guys, we've got to bump this, we've got to be in that window.
Yeah, we'll be in this window,
sweet
trust
range,
me.
sweet range. Yeah.
But it's strange how even though our attention spans are getting to the point where Vine videos are 7-second clips that everybody loves now.
Yeah.
That it also works the opposite direction. Now we're going back towards 30 minutes.
Yeah. So it always goes as you said, it went to the extreme of 7-second videos, and those were awesome as well, really funny. And now it's digital media, or at least digital video, has reached a sort of maturity now where it's actually come back, and you see a lot more long content on YouTube that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why is at the early stages of the internet and digital media. I mean, imagine uploading a video
10 years ago.
I'm imagining uploading
30
a video.
minutes long. That'd take forever.
That would take forever.
Yeah.
And no one really wants to do that.
It's matching the technology as it comes. Definitely. Just to speak on that point a little bit more, and this is kind of more relevant towards the gaming side, but I think the point parallels what we're saying about the media, the digital industry in general. Not so long ago, streaming technology was still pretty non-existent. To upload stuff, to stream stuff at a constant pace, that still took ages. But now the infrastructure, and we've got all the servers and stuff, that shit is it's easy. It's now easier than ever for anybody to do that streaming thing.
Not at my house.
Not
at Michael's house. Just for the listeners out there, Michael's house is fucking internet hell. If anything, there's no internet there.
It's a 56K.
It's like he's in China. You might as well be in China if you're at Michael's house. There's no fucking internet.
China has better internet than Australia.
That's actually
That makes me sad.
You should take that back.
Because you were saying anybody can stream, and I'm like, dude, I tried streaming. Australian internet
Is that because
upload is shit. Upload speeds.
Is that because
crap.
of your plan, or is that just
No,
you're
it's
playing
just
around?
Australian upload speeds. They're just shit.
I
Download
think
speeds are fine.
I think I can.
They're
I think
okay,
I can stream.
but uploading
in
is
360p.
360.
I can
Back
stream
in-
in 360p.
Back in the days, and I'm showing my age now, I used to watch Wong Fu clips before it was on YouTube. I actually went
Before
to
it
their
was on
site and had to download their
Oh,
videos
shit.
That's legit.
and watch it.
You must be a hardcore fan.
I'm not. I supported them because
They were Asian.
They were actually and because I felt that they represented something that I could relate to a lot more
That wasn't
than
necessarily
what we
always
saw in
represented.
media at the time.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot better because and I think digital media has a huge factor in doing this right. It's represented us in a more truthful manner. But at the time, as a kid growing up in the 80s, every representation that you saw of Asians in media was, it didn't
kung
represent
fu
me,
guy.
right? It did,
the
some
stereotypical
gangster.
limited role.
He was like a bad guy, kung fu guy, or take away
The wise
yeah. And
sensei.
I never related to any of these guys. And then these guys, Wong Fu came out, and yeah, sure, if you compare it to nowadays, the video quality is terrible because DSLRs are just so powerful these days, and what they were using is probably worse than your camera phone now. And I just felt like, hey, I can really relate to these guys. I can, like they're just regular guys like me, and they speak, my language. I don't talk with like a funny accent. But I want to support these guys because, I relate to them and I like what they're doing. I feel like, hey,
in a way, they were like sort of like, at least for us, Asian communities, they were like a pioneer.
Yeah, they kind of were.
Of internet video filmmakers.
They were pioneers in a lot of ways, breaking out of that mold in every way on every level.
Yeah,
So
now though I don't really watch them anymore
because they're whack.
No, it's because I think the demographics kind of shifting anyway, and maybe I'm getting a bit older as well.
Yeah.
I still support them, and I'm so happy to see them do well. And I still and when they came down to Sydney, I went to see them because I still support these guys, and I really wish them all the best. And like when I see they're doing like really professional stuff now. They work with Lee Hom, did the music video with him. They're working on like short films and real films, and I'm just like, wow, you know what, like good on them. I'm so happy for them, and I'll always support them even if I'm not like a hardcore fan.
Yeah.
But I used to send their URL over to people.
You used to email them.
Check this video out. Check out Yellow Fever.
Hey guys, I just came across this. I relate to this so much.
Taking our bitches.
So digital industry is the future. Now, did we wrap up with you, Pat, or is there anything else you want to say about yourself and what you did at least? We'll get back to it with everybody else, but is there anything else?
I just found that for me and probably a lot of people, it took a while for me to get serious about study. My first degree, I was never really into it. It wasn't just because of the content, but just me as a person, me at that age, I wasn't ready for that step of my life yet.
It is a huge transition from high school to university.
And it's independent learning. It's very different from
exactly.
how
you are
you're
your own
spoon-fed in
teacher
high
in
school,
some
right?
ways.
Yeah, you are your own teacher, and it's what you make of it. Like everything in life, really. So if you were never really into it, or you didn't put your effort into it, then you wouldn't have got anything out of it, really. And so that's another reason why I enjoy my current course, my second degree, is because I've matured in some ways, and I value my education a bit more than what I valued it in my first degree. So I'm much more serious with it, and then I'm getting more out of it as a result. So what I'm trying to say is just
get what you do.
It's what you make of it, and it's okay if it takes you a little time before you really get into it and find your rhythm. Everyone's different, and I think Ivan asked me,
I asked
easy?
you what your parents thought,
How
because my
parents
parents
thought.
had a very opposite view of yours.
Maybe I would just ask him that and we'll roll from there.
Yeah, so Patrick, what were your parents' thoughts on that, and did they receive it positively or negatively?
Well, Ivan, my dad was actually satisfied that I graduated with a commerce degree, and then what he told me afterwards was, you can study whatever you want.
You can be your own man.
You can finally think
awesome.
for yourself
and
be who you
want to be.
because he
Doctor
he
or
supported
a lawyer.
like multi-degree learning and just learning as much as you can. I guess I'm pretty fortunate that I sort of dodged that bullet, in a sense, that I didn't have that massive argument, which you seem like which Ivan had. At the same time, in the back of my head, it's sort of like, I'm never really going to go back to that. So he's probably thinking, oh yeah, he's got that, and then he's studying something else. He's probably going to fuse it in the future. I may or may not, but at the moment, it's just going to be, I've left that part of me behind, and I'm just focusing on what I'm studying now. So yeah, it was actually, he was quite supportive. So my parents were quite supportive of that change. Yeah,
That's cool. That's
did you want to?
You said you had a huge fucking conflict with your parents when you did like a 180 in course direction, like when you changed courses. Tell us about that. I think this is good for everyone.
I don't know, mate. Have I said this before? I don't know.
You've told me, but it's such a good story that you could make continuous sequels like Spider-Man.
So as I said before, and I gave you guys a short version of the story, but as I said before, I studied a business degree, and I majored in advertising and marketing as well. And similar to you, I was disappointed, but not in you, in marketing. Right? It was not. It wasn't what I expected either. It was kind of. It didn't seem it wasn't really creative, and it seemed just so like. And at the time, I had very idealistic views about society and the world, and I just didn't like the idea of the corporate rat race. I didn't like the idea of everything being focused about money, and I still don't have that idea. But for me, I was quite against that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that. I don't want to be another sheep in the crowd, and I don't want to be, doing this. And I'm not saying that people who do this are, but it just wasn't for me. And I just didn't want to be a part of that. It felt like it wasn't who I was, and I wasn't being true to myself. So I told my parents that I wanted to continue studying. I wanted to do a postgrad in media arts and production. And they said no, and they said no. We and fair enough. Like, we grew up pretty poor, so they wanted me to leave home and work and send money home like a good kid. But I wanted to keep studying. So essentially, I kind of was kicked out of home, and which is kind of weird to say because I was 21 at the time. So really, it was not that bad. But so I always say, like, I was homeless for a while, and that I really didn't have a home. So I was crashing on friends' couches for about 6 months actually, and yeah, I know. Like, I love the guy. Like, he's my hero. Like, he's like such a good guy. He saved my life, and I was crashing on his couch for ages, and he didn't charge me like a cent, and like, just God bless him, he's just the best guy. And you know what? I ended up getting a part-time job, and I ended up studying as well, and I ended up doing the postgrad degree, and I really, really loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. But what I really didn't love was literally having no money, and though I had no money, I still wanted to pay my friend, and he didn't charge me much. Like, I was only paying like $100 a week for at his place, so it wasn't really that much. But when you're working part-time and you're studying, it's kind of hard, and I kind of got sick of eating instant noodles every day, and that was when my mindset changed, and I thought, you know what, I can't be as idealistic as I used to be. I do need money to survive, so I don't have that kind of, like, I can't be as just so extreme in my thoughts anymore. So then, because of that, I was on a HD or a distinction average, in my postgraduate degree, and similar to you, like, I kind of really sucked at my original degree, because when you don't have a passion for it, it's hard to do well. But in my postgrad, I was kicking ass because I loved it so much. When you're passionate about something, you will do well in it, right? Because you want to put the time and dedication to it. So that's why I was thinking, like, you should just follow your dreams. You should just do what makes you happy, because it doesn't matter. Like, if you enjoy doing it and you love doing it, you'll be good at it. And if you're good at it, someone will pay for it. It doesn't matter what you do, so you should always follow that. So in the end, I kind of got sick of eating instant noodles every day. And I ended up getting a job in advertising, and that's what started me on that path, and that's how I ended up being where I am today. And obviously I did relatively well in it, and I somehow ended up finding a different path that I also really enjoyed. I ended up really liking the industry. Well, maybe not the industry, but I really loved the work I was doing, and I thought it was really, really interesting. And I was able to use the more creative part of my brain as well. And that's how I ended up, being where I am today. But having said that, from my parents' point of view, it took a year for us to kind of reconcile, because once they saw that I was going at it on my own, and I was surviving, and I was doing well, they kind of realized that, like because my parents always thought they knew what was best for me, and then when And I always did what they wanted me to do because it made them happy, and I thought, well, by making them happy, I'd be happy. But that's not necessarily the truth. Sometimes it is, but in my case, it wasn't, because when I actually started doing what I wanted to do, and
you got to live for yourself.
And I started living for myself, and my parents saw how happy it made me. They were happy for me. They were automatically happy for me, right? As soon as as soon as you you do something that makes yourself happy, because at the end of the day, they just want to see you happy, right? And if
and not die, survive and be happy.
yeah, so you can do what they want you to do, and make them happy. But if you're depressed about it, if you're unhappy about it, they're not going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
You can try all you want, it's never going to work. But if you work for yourself and you find your dream and you make yourself happy, then they'll be like, hey, actually, maybe we don't know what's best for you. Maybe you know what's best for you. Yeah, they turn around now. So now, often when I ask them for advice, they're like, to be honest, we don't know. I think you know best. I think you know better than we do what's right for you. So I think that was a big turnaround for them, and I think that was it was big for me, because for the first time I really felt like they trusted my decision. And
it's like you were truly free and emancipated, and like
and I proved to them that I don't necessarily need to work at a big company or do what they
like a different kind of alternative or different
and I don't need to take the traditional route in order to find that happiness.
Because that's what they saw. That was the only thing that they saw for them. But then you kind of opened their eyes, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they come from a different generation. They come from a generation where they're like, well, why do you care what job? Like, you just do a job just for money, so that you can make money, so you can survive. Like, that's all they know, right? Like, so when you're saying, no, I want to follow my dreams, I want to do what makes me happy, they're like, what are you talking about? What are you on, right?
What the fuck are dreams?
Yeah, it's like we didn't have that. Like, they never had.
Dreams is what you have when you sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I had that discussion with them a lot before they understood. It's like, hey, we do come from a different generation, and and I said, look, I completely appreciate what you guys are saying. I completely understand, because you guys are struggling to survive. You guys needed to do that, but
it's a different time.
It's a different time, and we're all relatively intelligent people here. I think we're all kind of selective school.
No, quality assurance. I made sure you're all intelligent,
and so we're all capable of doing like I always say this to Dennis, like, we're all capable of doing, you could do marketing if you wanted, you could do accounting if you wanted, we could do we could do it, no one's stopping us. And in fact, you did accounting, Grace did accounting for 2 years, right? So it's not saying we can do it, but we're not necessarily going to be happy in it.
Exactly.
So because we have, we live in a different generation, we have more choice than our parents had. We kind of do have that luxury to make that choice.
We can't squander it as well.
Yeah, and that's why every day to me it's a gift, and I'm just I ended up I'm serious. I ended up there was one night where I literally was sitting on a park bench, and I was going to sleep there that night until I decided, it's probably not safe, so I'm going to walk around. And from there to now where I am at, I've got my own apartment, and and I just feel like
you've come a long way.
For me, it's just a blessing to be here. I can't be any more just happy that I took I took the path less traveled. I took probably the hardest path. If they're saying take the path of least resistance, I took the path of most resistance.
And went against the grain in every way.
But it made me the person I am today. And right now, when I see adversity, I face it with a lot more. I'm a lot more ready now than I was back then. So Anyway, sorry for the long story.
That's a good story. I think. It's like hearing your experiences. This is the third time I've heard your story, but I always like hearing it again, because it kind of shows that other side of, obviously everybody's going through their own struggles, but some people have it worse, and they made the most out of it, and it's inspiring to use that fucking word. Great story, Ivan. Thank you for sharing with us. It's obviously very personal to you. The homeless part and the arguing with your family and everything. It's great. Moving on to Harry, because Harry hasn't said a fucking single thing this episode. He just rocked up late.
Think of what to say.
No. I'll guide you through it, baby. Gently. I'll guide you through it. Just ease it in.
just the tip for a little bit.
Just use the tip a little bit. Just the tip. Oh my god. Okay, so we've got Harry here today. He actually rocked up a little bit late because he had other commitments, which is fine. But Harry, tell us a little bit about yourself. Which uni you go to, what did you do there, and how did you get to where you are now? Starting after high school,
Well, after high school, I guess the only thing I was good at was Japanese. About band 6, both of them, maybe, kind of, I don't know. And so I decided to go to UCID with little less than a fully cooked plan. I started with a liberal studies degree, which is sort of like arts plus science plus a language. Couldn't hack the science part, so I dropped down to arts, graduated in 4 years. Embarrassing.
Nah. It's all good, brother.
During which I actually finished the units related to my major in about 2.5 years, so by the end I remembered nothing of my Japanese. However, that allowed me to pick up a lot of electives in second, third, and fourth year, which is what got me into music production. Which led me to Masters of Design Science, Audio and Acoustics.
Sorry,
those of you who can only hear the audio, they're doing this silly dance. I would like to see it again. Jellyfish. All the time.
So yeah, sorry. You did some electives. You kind of stumbled into music.
During which also led me to a semester at KOFA, which I just randomly started a bachelor's digital media. Never finished it. No. Not going back. Got a master's now. 1 semester. Actually, was it 1 or 2? 1. No, wait. It was 2 units, I remember. 2 semesters, right. It's like part-time at each uni, and, post-grad was a lot of night classes at the architecture department and
what
conservatorium.
Course is this now?
This is the master's I finished up in last year.
Which is
Design Science, Audio and Acoustics.
Design Science, Audio and Acoustics. Okay.
I like how you keep everything quite like
Quite what? Broad? No. That's terrible.
No, it's. I can't specify.
I can't specify. I can't go into depth in anything.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Okay. And so yeah, you graduated from that, and now what are you doing?
Seriously hasn't prepared me for any work because the course load was pretty heavy. I actually should have applied for a few internships during my postgrad, but
I've got a perfect job for you. You could make the soundtrack for Pat, Dennis, and Michael's film.
Okay.
Can I just say, for guys doing audio stuff, you have a really radio voice.
You have a really
It's really like kind of mellow, kind of cool.
You could give 106.5 Richard Mercer a run for his
Yeah,
money.
like, for real.
Love song dedication.
Thank you. Radio voice is what I'm aiming for.
Dude, how good was that one?
This is what I tried so hard to get him on for the
For the
previous
voice,
few
really?
episodes. No,
You're the
for
best
you,
guy.
Alex,
You're the
for
best
you.
guy, man.
For you, not for your voice, for you and your entire being. Everything.
Do you always sound like this? Or?
No.
You always sound like this when you're putting up an
Absolutely
act, motherfucker.
Did you like, or did you just wake up and now your voice is just like really
I don't know. I sound like this half the time.
golden?
When I get excited, my voice gets a bit higher.
Golden brown.
Very nice.
Caramel.
You're made for audio, Harry. You're made for audio.
Yeah, no, it sounds
Maybe. Yeah, so since then it's been soul crushing applying for work that I don't have any experience in that I should have experience in.
Nah, you should be like Ivan. Kind of fake it till you make it.
So I'll
Fake the experience till I make it. I've tried that.
Why? And then?
People to give me references where there were none. Well, you remember how I did the audio for Jackson's iPhone game?
Right.
I sort of qualified for 1 year of sound design experience because
That's such a stretch, man.
yeah,
That's good.
I know.
I think this will be like another thing that you can add to your resume. Should you choose to accept?
Should
this
I
position.
choose to Phantom
No,
Gaylords?
I'm just
Phantom Gaylords.
I'm just throwing it out there. Anything else to cap it off for you?
Well,
what you've done?
not really. That's my education story.
Did the sound experience go anywhere?
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll see.
I'm still fostering my voice.
You sing?
Well,
Can you speak for us?
give me bass, Harry. Give me bass.
Do we want to go karaoke? There's a place right downstairs.
Well, case
K2. Yeah.
K2.
Bring the
Okay,
recorder
so-
with us.
No. It's not
Okay.
great. I don't like that place.
So, I see a lot of overlap with everybody for the experiences to some extent. I mean, the recurring theme is people trying to find their interest and pursuing it. They might start off with one thing, but then they always kind of go back to pursuing their own passions, so to speak. And you know, some people had it hard from the start, like Ivan or such. Some people had it not so hard, like Pat. Others,
I'm sure he had his own struggle.
Everybody has their own struggle.
Yeah, that's true. Not to take anything away from your experience, Pat.
Like, trust me, like doing a degree that you hate is freaking hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hardest thing I've ever
Yeah,
done.
that's.
It is so, and you would know as well. Like,
I would
it's so
know.
hard, right?
Do you want to sit back closer? I don't know if we can.
Sorry, Nick. I talk too much.
Is this your way?
So Dennis,
Well, thank
what do you think?
What do you think? Co-host Ivan, MVP.
In a nutshell, I was the biggest slacker in high school, and
Wait,
and
you
that's
can't
what
beat
through.
me.
Dude. I can beat you.
You couldn't have beaten me.
I didn't study for any of my exams, not even HSC. I went into my
Oh, that's actually
3-unit
something.
English. I went into my 3-unit English and wrote an essay on the spot and a creative writing on the spot.
He's that
Raw
good.
talent. No, not raw talent. Not raw talent, because I fucked up. I fucked up.
Confidence right there.
I fucked up and I went into a Bachelor of Science first. In my first semester, I got like a credit or distinction average, and I transferred into economics. Now, I did this because societal pressure, parents, friends, everybody was doing sort of business, and I was a sheep. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was one of those dreamless, hopeless kids, and I was just like, whatever, I'll just go along with this. I did a degree for 3 years, which I absolutely hated, and I failed miserably.
So can I just? So this guy, he writes everything the night before, and he still got marks good enough to get into business. Like badass.
Let that sink in for a bit.
Sorry.
That's why I did assignments as well. If you leave this to the last minute, it only takes a minute.
Exactly. That was my thought process.
Oh, sorry.
Science to business.
I did my economics degree for 3 years.
Economics.
I pretty much hated it the whole entire time. I finished it off because I didn't know what the hell else I was going to do. I still don't know what I want to do. Finished my degree. I didn't know what I was going to do for 6 months then. Got into a part-time job. They hired me full-time. I worked there for 2 years, completely unrelated to my degree. And then I quit earlier this year. So I've said this like fucking 4 times, I swear, on this podcast already. But so I'm blitzing through it. But pretty much, I still don't know what I want to do, right? And I'm still at that stage where I don't want to go back to studying, because if I go back to studying, I feel it might be a waste, where I go back and I study 3 years for another course that I'm absolutely hating.
You need to study at Google University.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
yeah. But pretty much I'm trying to find that thing that I'm passionate about, and finding that passion is the hard part, because nobody can really teach you that. And I haven't really asked myself that for so many years. That's really hard to draw it out now.
Do some real soul searching, and maybe you can get some soul from here. Our collective experiences can inform you and shape your soul, so to speak.
So it's not an internal thing, is it? That fine? That's like it's soul searching, but it's like going out there and trying as many. things.
Yeah, that's one way to go about it. I think that's a very good way.
It's kind of what you're doing with your science design.
Oh, yeah.
and music.
Right? And everything under the sun.
Just
Can
sample
you
it.
say
Just
oh
sample
yeah
it.
again?
no.
A bit closer to the mic.
Harry,
Save that for next time. It might be too much.
It's too much for the file, guys. It's too much.
The recorder just
For our listeners, we warn you, you will need a change of pants or underwear when Harry drops his "oh yeah, baby, yeah."
I just asked for an oh yeah. I guess I'm just complimenting.
But I'll take this a little bit away from the whole education thing, but this is what I did get out of university. When I was in high school, I was extremely shy. I barely talked to anybody. I didn't really go out of my way to talk to people. In university, it was very much the same for the first couple of years. But throughout this whole entire time, I was already doing like hobbies such as like dancing. So I met predominantly most of these guys through dancing, and friends of friends from dancing, you know?
Dancing's great.
And like, if anything, the whole entire education system was just helping me meet more people or meet more like-minded people, right? So we're all very similar right now. Like we've discussed how we've changed degrees, changed life, and all that. So
We're all looking.
Change.
we're all at the crossroads of life.
All time, 11.
One could say we are all on the off lane. Yes, I worked that in there. Thank you, Michael.
Michael, you're
Michael,
the wrong guy. What the fuck?
Ivan, it's late.
Credited.
I'm
sorry, you can take the credit.
No, I can't.
Ivan, thanks, Ivan. I mean, Michael.
Remember, Henry,
Yeah,
if we're talking in real Dota terms, if we're all in the off lane, no one's in the off lane.
So we're in this together. Is that what?
No, it's a terrible strategy. You should stop doing that.
No. It's because we're in the off lane. We're trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Sorry guys, we just closed up.
Yeah, sure.
worries.
Oh no.
Oh, that's the
I can't. What's the time right now? It's
11.
11.
let's get that from
Oh, you should tell your story though. Your
my story?
tertiary story.
Henry, tell us what
Henry,
you think.
Henry, tell us what
What
you
do you think?
I love it when you do that, Ivan.
Opening the windows.
Okay. So straight out of high school, I originally wanted to do physiotherapy, but my marks weren't good enough, so I went for health science instead. And just to give you guys a better understanding, health science is kind of like the arts version of health. Okay, it's
That's
that's
the appearance
yeah,
of
it's-
science.
yeah.
Of scientific legitimacy, but not the content.
No, the subjects were sound, but none of it really directed you anywhere. It was just very general, like
It's less
like-
practical kind of thing.
yeah. It's more like a stepping stone for a postgrad. That was the intention of the course. But anyway, I did health science because I couldn't do physiotherapy, and my original plan was okay, work really hard in health science, get the awesome marks so that I could transfer eventually, and my marks were like by midway through health science, I was like, you know what, I'm not exactly sure I want to change to physiotherapy now because I had some physio friends at the time, and I saw their experiences and their coursework and stuff, and I was like, oh, that kind of wasn't what I had in mind about physiotherapy, that idealized picture. I guess I don't want to do physiotherapy. So now I'm back to square one. I'm back still stuck in health science, finishing off, no idea what to do. In my final year, in the mail, I got like a huge package. It's like, what the fuck is this? I never get mail.
I've got a huge package too. Joke, sorry.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Okay. But anyway, I got this huge package in the mail. I was like, what the hell is this? I opened it up, and it was an offer from the University of Sydney to do honours. And at that time, I didn't know what the fuck honours was because I was ignorant and stupid. I didn't look at my options of progression or anything. I just did the coursework because that's what I did. So anyway, I got this package, this offer, and I was like, honours? What the fuck is this? Did a bit of research and like, okay, yeah, honours sounds pretty sick. A year of preliminary research to like bring me into that field. Okay, well, I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to be a physio anymore. Let's just stall for time and take up the offer because, well, why not? So I did that, finished honours. So that's 4 years in uni. And then finished honours. I was like, fuck, I'm out of time now. What do I do? And then I applied. My supervisor for honours told me, well, Henry, you could do a PhD. If you really like research, you could do a PhD. And that's what I did. I was like, from one thing to another, kind of just to keep stalling for time to really figure out what I want to do. So yeah, now I'm doing a PhD. I'm halfway through it. But I'm taking a break, and in this break, I'm doing this podcast. Here we are, yay! And yeah, my PhD is in video games and mental health. I'll keep it at that. But yeah, like very much like everybody else here, well, most of us here, I'm still trying to find that interest, that calling, that thing that I really want to do and kind of work at it. And at the time, 2 years ago, it was video games because that's what I did down a while. I was like, yeah, video games are fucking sick, and I still like it, but just trying to figure it out how to make it work. And here we are. So, uni, I don't know. I feel like even though our experiences are very different, I still feel like we kind of undertook kind of like a very similar journey of trying to find what we want to do, try to make it practical, and in some ways also explain to your family and have them understand what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. Obviously, to varying degrees of extremities, you know.
What? You weren't homeless either?
I was, yeah. But yeah, that's me. So I mean, to bring it back to education and fucking university and stuff. I mean, what's everybody's like best and worst experiences from university? It could be like learning related. It doesn't have to be. It could be like Dennis said, meeting people or whatever. Some of the fondest times and the crappiest times, like getting your fail mark.
What do you think?
God damn, Ivan, you're too smooth. Your segues are genius.
Oh no, I wonder who gave me that idea.
Okay, well, for me, for my undergrad at least, one of my best periods was the dance society I joined it called Soul Express. It's a hip hop dance society. I spent a lot of my time when I'm not studying a part of that society just hanging out, dancing, and I was sick. I met Dennis kind of through there in some ways, and the greater Sydney dancing community. Indirectly met Ivan and Patrick, and a whole bunch of other cool people. That was very. I felt that was a very good experience for me because it kind of helped me. It was a very formative experience. Like, oh wow, this is completely new, and dancing. That's pretty left field in like the traditional societal sense for a man, or what's expected of a man to do or not do or can do. Dancing. Well, you're a guy and you can dance. Well, shit, show me your moves, that kind of thing. So that was one of my best memories. Crappiest memory? Not hard to think of one off the top of my head. Just some subjects that was just really fucking boring. But the lecture was just boring. That's really it. Really, nothing really tragic for me. But yeah. Well, what do you think, Ivan? What about you?
So my best experience was similar to you, just meeting really good people, and a lot of them I'm still friends with today. I met my girl in uni as well, and I met a lot of dancers when I was doing my postgrad as well. I ended up representing UNSW at like at like a uni battle.
Into uni battles.
And I ended up with Jason.
Second, right? Second.
We won.
Oh, you won?
Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
the first synergy. The first synergy.
Yeah, we won the very first synergy, and neither of us were UNSW students. We were both UTS students. So technically the win goes to UTS, but it's forever on the board as UNSW won that year. But yeah,
UTS were wrong.
Yeah.
By ourselves.
But it's because we didn't even have those hip hop societies, so we represented
representation.
UNSW, so it was pretty hilarious.
That's great.
Worst memory was probably failing, because throughout all my life I was always a high achiever. Like, in primary school I did really, really well. Obviously gone to a really good high school, as a lot of the guys here as well. Didn't try very hard, but still managed to get a fairly decent UII. And then suddenly at uni, wow, that just came crashing around me. Suddenly I wasn't doing well. And suddenly what made me who I was like just... Yeah, and like Dan's pointing to himself because
so many
I'm
other
like,
people.
exactly, because he feels it, right? Because
So crushed.
exactly,
Soul crushing
because
moment.
it's not
High
even
school
who,
selective.
because you don't even know who you are anymore, right? You've just lost your identity. It's like I've always been a high achiever, and now I can't do it, and it's not because I'm incapable of doing it. It's just because I just don't give a shit about this. And
you feel like
can't force yourself to do it. Like you're sitting there, you're just staring at this point, and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna fail, and I can't do anything about it because I'm just so out of it right now. I'm so unhappy with where I'm at.
The drive isn't there.
Yeah, I'm so.
Yeah.
And then I sat there, and then when I got my first fail, I was just devastated. I was like, I cannot believe all my life I was like, a high performer, and I've just failed, and I failed in the most spectacular fashion as well, and then later it took me a long time to find the motivation again, and I ended up doing summer school. I ended up doing 5 subjects in a semester. So I overdid it, and I redid those subjects, and I didn't talk about this before, but I actually chose accounting and finance first because that's what my parents wanted me to do, and I ended up taking a different path. I ended up doing marketing and advertising, but at first I was doing that, and so already they weren't happy about the marketing and advertising part, and then I wanted to do film, so what a good start. Anyway, so I failed though. I failed accounting too, and finance too, I think, and despite the fact that I had already chosen my new majors, something within me, I said, I can't let these two fails go. So I redid them, and I got like an HD and a D. And then later, once I found that
Came back
drive, so I always realized, well, you know, I can do it. And I always say to Dan, like, you can do it if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
You just don't. Right? And it took me a long time to pull myself out of that rut in order to come back and finish them off, and just for
like
myself.
An action movie.
Myself, right? But it's so hard. Like I just. But when you're there, like when you're in that rut, when you're in that moment where you're feeling just like shit, you're feeling like hell, and you're just staring at your book, and you've been staring at the same page for like
And you just begin
2
questioning
days.
it.
Why the fuck am I doing this?
why?
What's this all for?
It's
Why?
it's the toughest thing on the planet. It's so freaking hard. So that was the worst moment for me.
And the best. Rapping UNSW.
Yeah, and the best was rapping US
As a
UTS
student. Holy shit. Alright. Well, what about, who wants to go next? Anybody?
Grace?
Yeah, I'll go because I got a head soon.
Yeah.
So best and worst of university. Best was definitely the constant change that came with uni life. So we never had to really do anything for too long. I really enjoyed that. So everything from, because we had that time, I think that's what I loved about doing business. So it was like 12 hours a week,
Yeah.
and I probably went to about the last half hour of every lecture in the first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks. So all up, probably went to 12 hours for the whole semester.
Wow.
So it was a good life. Good life. So I spent most of my time. It started off in I got to explore the bookstores and cafes and restaurants in Sydney. I had time to start my food blog, which was really fun. I got into a bit of photography, made a lot of friends, joined as many dance classes as I could, randomly all over Sydney, and then just hang out with my friends. That was really cool. Make new friends, and then got to go on exchange. That was definitely a highlight as well. So
Where did you go on exchange?
I went to London. So
Ooh.
yeah, I've been aiming for it since what's it called, O-Day
Oh, yeah.
in year
Wow.
12. And I talked to this girl who was like,
London.
"There's one thing you do in uni. No, there's one thing you do in uni. You must go on exchange." And then every person I spoke to after that who said they got on exchange, I asked them if they enjoyed it, but not just that, whether they take it back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Any regrets? Or
any regrets?
Yeah.
Or would you? Yeah, and they would just
YOLO.
Yeah, YOLO.
YOLO
That's back
slang.
uni kind of thing.
It
Yeah.
always goes back to YOLO.
So pretty much that kind of partly cinched my decision to do my degree because it was a co-op, so I could have some cash to go towards my
Oh,
exchange.
sorry.
as well. Huh?
Sorry. Mrs. High Achiever. You're the real high achiever.
Not really. No.
Coming from
it's
Bruce
just
and shit. Step back.
yeah, it's just to pay for my food blogging costs. Yeah, so that was really fun because it kind of I remember going overseas and then partly that feeling of I made this money so I can spend it how I want, so I can go out.
That kind of you own it kind of thing. You earned it.
Yeah. You can enjoy it the way you want it. You don't. You feel extravagant, but you feel like you're allowed to be extravagant. Kind of.
How much money were you making?
You're gonna have to tell me some numbers. Give me some numbers here.
It's raining.
I'm in London, bitch.
I did my internship at Macquarie, and the first 3 weeks after that, no. Well, I didn't get paid for it though.
Oh.
But in the first 3 weeks after that, I did get a short. I asked my manager for a short stint there to do some work, and I was like, when I got my first paycheck, it was like
6 digits.
6 digits. I was like,
Holy
oh my god, I'm so rich. There's money falling from the sky.
And I'm just touching it. This is what dreams are made of.
I'm full. Yeah, I was so happy. I bought a camera and I took my mom out to Fisherman's Horizon. We had lobster dinner that night.
Oh, what a great daughter!
Nah, yeah, it was good.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was really good.
Lots of free time.
Free time, lots of change. No, nothing locked in. Could do because I did audit in EY as well, Ernst & Young. So that was really fun because every week we'd go to a different place,
Different business,
different
do
business.
something different. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really fun.
You've actually used
You used EY, audit, and
fun in the same
all
sentence.
Audit's fun.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Grace is crazy. You heard it here first.
All right.
Those are worst experiences.
Worst.
Yeah.
Worst.
When I thought I was having fun at EY auditing, it actually wasn't that fun.
No. I wouldn't take back. Like, all my work experience was fantastic. I think probably worst was like my subjects that I actually did turn up for. Like, I'm so glad that I did exchange because it forced me to break up my possible major and major. So I broke up my major and did sub majors. No, not even. I did electives, and so I did illustration. I did Chinese. I'm so glad I did because I almost did something else. I don't know. I was going to do finance, which would be okay. But
Failing to see the worst part in this.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just good. Oh, okay.
Everything's fucking
No,
rainbows
but the
for
flip
you.
side of that
Right.
is I realized early in second year that I was interested in, I guess, illustration and like illustration basically.
Yeah.
So, which has led me to where I am now. So, I guess, I got high D's and D's in first and second semester.
Double
and I
Ds,
don't know
Ds.
what. I wish I could take that time back. I really
Yeah.
if I went and did it again, I would just pass my subjects, like, or maybe not even do them. I don't know why I bothered putting in effort. So that would probably be like
That's
spending
easy
time.
for you to say.
What do you mean?
Like, if this is your lowest low,
God damn it, man.
we bombed out. Fuck.
I should just jump out that window.
How do we compare to like Grace?
Let's do it. Let's do it together.
Let's just jump.
Hold my hand.
Thanks, Grace. Who wants to go next?
Harry,
No.
Harry.
deep voice for last.
Oh, yeah.
The best of last.
Save the.
Harry. give us that goodish.
He doesn't want to do it now. He wants to be the last one.
Yeah. Anybody else? Somebody take it out. Go, Dennis. Shoot.
Okay, one of the best moments was I've always been a slacker, right? And the whole entire leave it to the last minute, it only takes 1 minute. I did a history elective, which I actually really enjoyed. And I remember I had this assignment which was worth like 20%. And you had to read this text and write this whole entire like 1,000, 2,000 word essay on it. And on the day of the actual hand-in, I read the text in 1 hour, I wrote the essay in 2 hours, handed it in, and I got a 19 out of 20 when the average was 14 out.
Oh, damn! So bad we got a badass. Congratulations.
Oh my
badass.
Looks like I have to jump out the window by myself.
But that was the only time. Like, fuck, I didn't fail any subjects, but I got like so many like conceded passes, like accounting and everything.
Yeah,
like
let me add that. I
That's
had
what-
many passes
Yeah.
for
That's what
accounting.
I'm trying to say. Like,
shit.
like he's smart enough to do what he wants. He just.
But I don't know what
need
the fuck I
find
want
the
to do.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
and
passionate,
then you can
if
dedicate
you're
your time
interested
to
in
it.
it, you will do well.
Yeah.
But the worst experience would be a subject called econometrics, 1A and 1B. So econometrics, it already sounds retarded. It is retarded. It's basically basic level auditing. Not auditing. Actuarial, basically. So it's like higher level maths, statistics, and I did economics because I like the theory, not really the math side of it. So I was struggling for these two semesters of it, basically, and I had to do them to do a major in economics. So it was like,
Damn, there's no escape.
there was no escape, and
Ouch.
we were using a program that was like 50 years old, that was like free source, because UNSW was tight. And then the year I graduated,
They
they
upgraded
changed it and upgraded it to the next one. I was
As they
like, fuck.
do. Like, so long, Dennis.
Exactly. They just like gave me the finger, and I was like, fuck econometrics, fuck economics.
That's your worst memory.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, no. One of my worst memories would be saying goodbye to a lot of my friends, because a lot of my friends went off like different branches. Like some of them went overseas, and I didn't really get to see them anymore. That was actually, and since I had transferred from science to economics, I was already one semester later than all my friends. So all my friends graduated at the same time, but I graduated like after them. So I could just see everybody move on with their lives, and I was still stuck doing this shitty uni degree that I hated.
Actually, I can kind of relate to that. Going back to shitty experience for me. I guess the true shitty experience is people in my course I never really connected with. I never really related with. I didn't have any friends within my course, which sounds so lame, like such a Nigel. But yeah, I just didn't fucking connect with any of them. So I was always the guy who only turned up if he needed to. It's not like I had friends to, you know, go and meet and hang out with.
Same.
Like during lunchtimes and stuff, I'd eat and then nap. Like, holy shit, what kind of a sad like uni life is this?
Where the hell did you nap?
Dude,
he finds anywhere to sleep.
I can nap
I mean,
anywhere.
like Wentworth didn't exactly have couches or anything.
No, I napped.
2011,
This was
2012.
in Cumberland campus,
Oh.
which is lots of free space. And
Lots of nap time.
because nobody fucking goes
Nap
there.
space.
Yeah, that's my true shitty moment. I didn't have any real friends.
I
aside
would
from
say the
college
same
friends.
thing. Because a lot of my friends were doing subjects like a semester ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I had nobody in the same bracket.
Mhm.
And then, you know, you always make those uni friends that you only see for one term.
Yeah, just
'cause
for
you
that
just
lecture,
for that
or
one
that
lecture
subject.
or that one subject. And then like, they
Temporary
drop off the
friends.
face of the earth and you never
man,
see them again.
Hey man.
I was that guy. All my friends from like earlier on in my degree, the Japanese friends, they all got like good enough marks to go on exchange, and they had the money and whatnot.
They fucked up.
They fucked up, and then I was just left over here doing a bunch of electives, being that guy,
Like, so long, Harry.
being that guy who's in like group assignments and shit,
Oh man.
doing the best I can, and then just disappearing off the face of the earth.
So like another dentist made friends with you. He connected with you, and then the next semester
He was
just
gone.
disappeared. And he never saw you.
No,
again.
I disappeared.
He was disappeared.
I was like, no, I was like, you disappeared from him. Right?
Oh yeah.
And he was like, oh. I really connected with this guy with the really awesome bass voice.
he never returns my calls on my message. I just want to hear him one last time. One last time.
You guys.
Michael, you sounded like you had a story to tell. Like,
Oh no, just
did you also have no friends in university?
No, I was just gonna make a comment on what you guys were just talking about. Like like I came from tech, same as Patrick and Dennis, and like a lot of my good friends came from were from tech too, and a lot of them did commerce at New South. Like 80% of us literally did commerce at New South, and they were a lot of my good friends, and before uni started, I was always like, yeah, I got all these friends at uni already.
It's gonna be like high school all over
Yeah,
again.
it's gonna be
We're gonna
fucking
hold
sick,
hands
you know?
and like be friends again.
Oh, we're gonna play handball.
Handball again. Just like good times.
We still
Yeah.
have a handball tourney, by the way.
Yeah. To be continued. Keep going. Yeah.
So I'm like 100 tech guys from the same year, at the uni that's same uni as me, and then you think it's great, and then every time I have lunch, and then I go to the quadrangle, meet you guys, and all of them will be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go accounting now.
Like the timetable mismatch.
Yeah, I'm always
Right.
I'm always by myself. I really get to see you guys during uni. It was hard. It was hard. I had to make new friends. I mean, it could work, but like,
Sounds like a bad thing. Like I had to
I
make
had
new
to,
friends.
I had to. No,
What
like,
a bad
like
thing.
same as Henry. I mean, sorry, Harry.
Harry.
Like I'm sure everyone would have experienced that. Like you kind of feel like, okay, we're gonna do this group work in this class. Okay,
Yeah.
we're kind of
Like we're here anyway. We might as well, kind of thing.
Sometimes you kind of talk, make friends. Sometimes you're like, hey, you get each other's Facebook, whatnot.
Get the number,
Get the
stalk them a
number,
little.
stalk them.
Can I have your number?
Find the
Yeah.
address, follow them around
But then,
the street.
but then
Didn't even
right after
suspect them.
right after the semester, they disappear.
Exactly.
So
Oh yeah, one thing I want to add. It's not like I did try to make friends. It's just they just didn't fucking reciprocate. It's like I'm putting myself out there, like, hey, but everybody's like, you're whack, and I'm like, fuck. I think a lot of
Like
times
literally, you went, hey, and you went, you're whack.
oh, fuck.
End of story.
I think a lot of that has to do with my cohort being Caucasian but not just the fact that
Caucasians
they're
say-
Caucasian,
say
but then a
they're
lot of them
black.
were like from the West, if that makes any sense. Because
So they were racist towards you?
what I'm
But
saying
they
is
said it-
I was discriminated
they
against
said
because they
you're
ain't
whack.
never seen the fucking Asian in
They
their life
said you're
before.
whack.
At least
From
not
the
kind of
West.
did as
You're
well as
whack.
they could fucking expect. Because like I said, I was that guy who only turned up the bare minimum.
Because you
But
were
I only-
at the Cumberland campus, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I don't know, it was weird. I'm not going to fucking call it racism, but I was that Asian that was only there when needed, and I'd always do better than them. I think that they secretly hated me.
Slow clap. Good work, guys. Good work for the join in. I really appreciate that.
I'd like to remind everybody I'm doing a PhD. Yep, thank you. Like push me out the window.
Best and worst, go guys.
I'll start with my worst. It was, I think, like Ivan failing subjects. In my first 2 semesters of my first degree, I failed 2 subjects per semester.
This is the business, yeah.
This is my business degree.
Econometrics?
One was economics, 1A or whatever. One was QMA, which I got. My final mark was 28 over 100. That was like...
You know what my mark was? 49. Oh, 49. I could have gotten considered, but at that time I was in such a rut that I didn't even fight for it. Like,
yeah, so I bombed pretty hard for that one. I remember sitting in the exam and I could not answer, like, the majority of the question.
I was just sitting in the exam paralyzed, just like, what the
I did a maths
So tough.
subject where which is like past 4 unit and like 2 more passed out, right? I did math subjects. I had to do it for my course. And I remember I was in the final exam and I was looking through all these papers. I was flicking through it and I'm like, the fuck? I can't do any of these. Like, I literally could not do any of these questions. There were like 8 questions and I couldn't do any of them. And they were the type of questions where you had to do the first part, which led on to the second part.
Oh my god, the lead-on questions are the fucking worst.
So, I just wrote some bullshit.
And built up your bullshit.
I built up my bullshit for like 4 of the questions. Other 4 of the questions blank. Like, completely blank. And so, after 15 minutes, I was like, I'm done with this exam.
I'm all out of bullshit.
I'm like actually finished.
I'm all
and
bullshit
this is all I've got. So I was feeling really shit, but then, like, after the first, you have to wait for the first half hour before you can leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I waited for that, and I was the second guy out of the whole entire place. And me and the first guy, we just looked at each other, and we were just like,
Yeah, you bombed too?
Yeah, what? I bombed too. And then I actually got the result back, and I got like a 70 out of 100 for the overall mark.
Holy shit!
And I swear, everybody must have failed that exam, because there's no way in hell I got more than like 20% in that exam. There was no way in hell I got more than 20%. So the scaling must have been like so trash for everyone.
you're just really good at bullshit.
I think that's your calling.
Have you ever considered being a lawyer?
Career change, here I come.
Yeah, can I ask you if you felt the same way? Like, did you feel like you kind of didn't know who you were anymore? Like what everything that you built up to that point, you're like
taken off
it was like
away
an
from you, like
identity
underneath
crisis.
your feet.
I had a massive identity crisis.
Massive
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
at that point. But like, it was partially due to me not being serious, and partially because of relationship problems during that time.
Yeah.
As Michael may have known.
Hey,
Isn't
I
that
do
bad,
too.
man? Get
I
on
do.
your
I know. Okay, yeah. I know.
Oh, that's true. That is
That's true. I mean, yeah. But for me personally, that was quite crushing. So that all sort of was in the mix of that. But I picked myself in second, third, and my third and a half, like my
Picked
year,
yourself up.
like with
The bootstraps. I get knocked down.
But yeah. So from the very beginning, that was sort of my worst experience, and it got better. It got much better throughout the rest of the degree. So that was my worst experience, I guess. Best experience. I don't remember actually having many good experiences at uni. I didn't really enjoy my time at uni. It was, I guess, the nature of being a university student. It was doing something in
With your
society's
free
eyes
time.
stable. Being a university student was having a lot of free time. Having a commerce degree, which is 12 contact hours approximately per week. So having a lot of that free time, it was, it's a great period of time to do what you want, in a way, in a sense. So that's what I enjoyed being a university
It's
student.
strange
was
for
that
me
free
hearing
time.
these two like differences. Like you and Grace, I'm just comparing. Like Grace seems to have the fucking time of her life and like
No,
exchange.
same story. I think, but I think I was saying I was including on my spare time as uni, but you're defining it as uni and your spare time.
I want you guys to like talk about that as a whole, like everything, like Grace said. No, but
Yeah. So yeah, like a best part, it wouldn't be directly linked to uni, but indirectly because
It's because
of the structure of uni and my degree that I was studying. then I could sort of enjoy my life outside of uni during that time as a university student. Yeah.
Do you need help, Ivan? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But okay, no. Actually, before you guys go, I want to get your closing thoughts, and I'll edit it at the back with everybody else. So,
sure.
I guess starting with Ivan. I mean, Ivan, what's your closing thoughts or final words on the fucking university chapter of life? Your parting words for the wisdom for the younger generation.
I think especially when you're in year 12, you somehow think that your HSE matters a lot, your UAI matters a lot, that the university degree you're picking is going to define who you are and the rest of your life. But it actually doesn't. Out in the real world, nobody actually cares about that stuff at all. They only care about the last job that you had. They care about the last experience you had. So I think it's fair to say that I think be brave. I think follow your heart and follow what feels right at the time, and don't worry too much. Like I worried so much, and now I think back and I'm thinking, oh, it's kind of silly, like that I was so stressed and so like depressed about it, because like it kind of all worked out in the end. And I think like someone gave me a stat recently about how many people actually end up finishing the first degree they choose, and it's actually very, very low. And I remember when I was graduating, I looked to my left and I looked to my right,
different people.
They were completely different people to the people who I started with. So I don't think there's anything wrong with changing your path and because like I said, like when you're at a certain age, you really don't know anything. So but once you get a bit more experience in your life experience as well, that you know kind of where you want to go, and then when you do know where you want to go, then you should really just go for it and not hold back, because it's so important to know what you want, and once you have it, just don't waste it.
It's good.
Do you think that it's because our education system is not preparing us early enough to know what we should be doing or what
I think
to do?
our education system,
or is it that we are too early to know?
I think it kind of doesn't really help. So like in a lot of countries, your first year of uni, you don't actually decide what subject you want to do. You kind of do a bit of everything. And that year is for you to figure out what you like the most. That kind of works. That system seems to work. If you go to Germany or a lot of the European countries, they go to they don't start work until much later in life. So they have they have a lot more kind of experience before they go into the workforce. And when I speak to these guys, they seem more like they seem to know what they want a bit more because they've got a bit more experience. So I think that our education system kind of, I don't know if it's under preparing us. I think it's just kind of set up in a way that it doesn't really, like it's kind of asking you something that you honestly have no idea how to answer, right? Like you literally you have zero life experience. You're a kid, right?
Bad question.
So what?
Doesn't it make it a bad question?
Probably. So
if you're asking someone
if I had it my way, I'd probably have like more of a maybe an American style system where your first year is you do a bit of this, you do a bit of that, and then after you've done things that are completely different to what you do in high school, because I mean honestly some of the stuff you do in high school is completely irrelevant to what you do in life, right? And then you do a lot of subjects and you choose what you want to do, and you choose a lot of electives, and then after, because I don't know what I like to do, like you when you discover illustration and you're like, oh cool, I actually like it because you did it right. But if you had the choice to begin with to do electives, like I could try a little bit of illustration, I could do a little bit of film, do a bit of animation, I could do a bit of counting, can do a bit of, and then a fail isn't life or death, which it is made to be because it's so expensive and so there's such a stigma against it. But if you're given that choice and then you're able to explore a bit and you go, actually, you know what, I thought I wanted to do this, but once I got into it, I thought I wanted to do marketing, but hey, I just did an elective or a subject of it. It's actually not what I wanted it to do. And then I did this, and I completely didn't expect to love it, but I do love it, and hence now I want to base my degree on this area. I think that makes a lot more sense than just saying to like a teenager, hey, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Okay, I want to be a lawyer. Like I don't, like 90% of my law friends aren't even doing law right now. Like I can guarantee you that.
That's a lot of final thoughts. I like that. Grace, you got.
Need to go.
Oh, you do.
So, final thoughts next time.
Grace has no final thoughts.
Just briefly, completely agree with what you said. If I had to add on to it, Follow your heart. We've got the luxury of, I think some yeah.
You have the luxury.
You
just gotta follow your heart.
In the sense that try as many things as you can. It doesn't have to be study, but just in terms of if you're interested in, like, I don't know, I just have
Like, don't be held back.
working. No, yeah. If you're not sure about something and you go 50-50, should I do this or should I do that? Take the path that's like more. If you had nothing holding you back, like if you could live the perfect life, then there was no risk of failure. So, for example, like as I was saying, like if I could choose between finance or like marketing or whatever, it was like some major that I was going to do versus breaking it all apart, not knowing what's going to happen in the future when I graduate, and just taking off exchange and doing electives and then possibly not getting a job. Like, you know, when you're in uni in the middle of it, you're like, oh, when I graduate, if I don't do 2 majors, like everyone says, you know, you're going to be
how's it going to turn out?
What's going to happen? You don't know. And if you don't know, but something's saying
I didn't
that
give a
something
shit.
suits you, yeah, do it. Just
Let's do it. Grace is actually a night shill.
Best and worst, Michael, Harry,
Yeah, it's
one of
just
you.
Michael and Harry now.
You can do it last. I'll start with my worst experience as well. I think during uni, my worst experiences probably girls.
Lack of girls. Too many girls.
Too many.
The girls weren't actually girls. Like, what do you mean?
Actually, that is one of the worst things I had as well. I went to an all-boys school, and then I go into uni, and it's a complete sausage fest for all my classes. I had 2 girls in like
Okay, that
all
just
my
means you
classes.
went
I had the
Wrong
opposite
subjects.
problem. I had the opposite problem because I was in humanities. None of them were attractive.
Actually, I think that's what.
That's something
Okay,
that's
well, there were a
actually
few that were
That's
attractive,
that's
but
pain.
then I just
That's pain.
That's like going to a Psych A. Going to a Psych A1
No,
where the
it was
ratio
like-
is 3
yeah,
to
they
1.
were taken.
Well,
somewhere.
wait till you guys hear about my good experiences.
Alright, we're talking about girls now. University girls
Yeah.
gone
I
wild.
waited for the girls to
I'll
leave.
I'll finish up with my bad experiences.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like Patrick, you know, I had some relationship issues as well. So I guess that kind of affected my uni experience, kind of indirectly. But
Overshadowed everything
yeah,
else.
yeah. But I mean, the most part is probably the sciences that I was talking about before. Stats.
Yeah,
I
stats.
bombed that pretty hard.
It's a universal
I
experience,
tell you,
I think.
when I finished that last math exam during HSC,
Never doing maths again!
that's
Yes!
right, that's right. I was like, you know, actually, the only motivation I had the days prior to that exam, I thought to myself, okay,
Last
I
time.
get this done, I'm never touching this shit ever again.
Last time.
And I go
One time.
get to uni.
Like, look who's back, baby!
Oh man, that was
Maths is like, I missed you, Michael.
yeah. He did miss me. So yeah, I bombed out in that, and I actually had this other subject that I took. Like I'm like Dennis. I'm lazy as hell as well, and I'm bludgy. So there was this subject that was in science that I could take, right? And it was one of those something safety class. I don't even remember the name.
OHS.
Occupational.
It's similar to that, but they sort of like stretch it, you know, to not just OH&S. So OH&S was part of it.
Like, wear condoms as well in the lab.
Maybe I didn't study that part of it. But
We're dealing with
yeah,
unsafe liquids. Oh, damn! Sorry, Michael, keep going.
Man, you lost me just a.
Like, you were talking about, the safety
Your bludgy
subject.
Yeah, no, so that subject, I think I picked it because it was one of those where you didn't actually have to attend class.
Okay.
And like you just sort of do it kind of online.
Oh, those
Those are the best.
Those were the best until they become the worst.
Mm.
And you know, just fresh out of high school, being a lazy student, man, I had no idea how many assessments I had, what assessments I have. I seriously didn't remember I had that fucking subject.
It's not until like about week 5 and you look at the
They're like,
syllabus.
oh wait, I've got
Like,
four
oh yeah, no,
subjects.
that's the first assignment. Don't worry. And then midsem come along, and then suddenly week 9, you look at it again, and I was like, oh wow, there's two more before the semester.
No, it's more like it's week 9 and I look at it and I'm already missed 2.
Holy shit.
So like that was one of the first subjects that really brought my WAM down. That sort of fucked me over. And then and then stats was bad. So okay, good experiences.
Also girls.
He just read my mind.
That connection.
I was just gonna start with that first lesson or first lecture when I walked in.
You laid eyes on her, and it was like love at first sight.
That class was new media technologies.
More like new love and passionate.
I remember. Shit. I walked in that lecture hall, and it was one of those where you walk in from the front, right?
Oh damn!
From the front.
From the front.
And you walk in and you're facing all the seats.
Oh.
And I remember I walked in, and it was a really strange feeling because
Your pants got smaller.
I was like,
Whoa.
shit,
Whoa.
where are all the guys?
You actually have to ask that question.
I actually asked that question in my head, and what followed next was
Orgies.
I actually turned around and walked out, thinking I was in the wrong room.
That's a reality check right there.
That was
There's just too many girls. Just like
Hey man, we
hyperventilating.
dude, we came from an all guys school. Come on.
no. I literally thought I was
Blind
you were wrong.
from a guy's head schools and not sausage fest as well. No, keep going. So you went out. You thought you were in the wrong class.
I had
Give
to
me
check.
more.
I had to check. You know, my timetable where I was supposed to be, and it was right. And I stood up there, and like it's about to start, and I'm like, shit. Do I go back in? Or do I
By all indications, this is the correct classroom. Intuition for what I do. Fuck. Go on.
Hey man, if you were truly a lazy student, you would have gone home.
But then, hey,
Girls.
But it was just weird because you walk in and everyone's looking at you because they see.
Enough said. Opposite sex makes the world go round.
You could have walked in, pretended to be the lecturer, and say, "Class, we're going outside today. Make off with all your clothes on." There's plenty to go around. Damn, that would have been like fucking ultimate alpha male display. Come and get it, ladies. Come and get it.
All right. Maybe not on the first day.
Make a skit about
But
You have to. The story.
man, I don't even know what to say.
Don't worry. Basically, Michael's good experience was he was drowning in pussy.
No. That was,
Did you make anything of it? I need a probe now.
man, I can't continue.
The rest is R-rated. That's
No,
why.
no,
Come
guys.
on, Michael.
No, guys, I'm really lost right now. Okay. So that was one of the good experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a good kind of eye opener, literally.
I'm sure it was. You were like a kid in a candy shop. Sugar daddy. Honey,
No. Like real good
talk.
experiences. Real talk.
On the real.
Real talk. If you actually talk about uni, then the actual media subjects, like I guess I kind of enjoy because they were what I was, what I want to do, and with a photography background, so I felt pretty solid, especially in a lot of the practical fields. You can rock up there and you're like, hey, this is how you do it.
And now we get to Harry.
Oh,
Harry's best member.
Worst experience, let's see. Yeah, I also failed stats and like for my first year of math, oh man, forgot everything in the HSC. Came to uni, had to do what was it? Algebra and integration. Fuck, what's that again?
Matrices?
No, I didn't even need to do the second semester of
Did
that.
you need to do matrices?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Knew nothing about it.
Same.
Barely scraped by, 51 and 54. Whoa. The bullshit thing was they were both worth 3 credit points, but you had to do the same amount of work, like even more work than I've ever done for any other class into those 2 maths units. And then second year, because I decided, like, you know, psych would be a good major, like half the fucking population of the uni did in year 1. There was a compulsory stats unit.
Segment of the psych.
Yeah, I realized like
That
about
was the
4
stat
weeks
house.
in, I would have not enough marks to pass.
4 weeks in, and you're like, nah, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
It's
done.
over.
I'm just like, I'm so sorry, group. I have to bail out on you. I'm not gonna pass this. I still got notifications like in my uni email towards the end of the semester.
Oh, that does
Felt so
haunt me.
bad. But hey, never failed a class that I finished. Yeah, so I got that going.
Well, that's a very interesting way of working. I like
I
that.
say that about
I
all my
guess
classes.
that's the same with me too? Question mark. That's like processing what that really means.
That's some good like foresight. I'm gonna fail this. Drop it.
Yeah, no, I was past the threshold to drop it. It wasn't 4 weeks in. It was about it's halfway through, 6.
Yeah, but
It's a bit
you
out there.
can negotiate sometimes. Like
It's,
sometimes you can like talk about
Negotiate.
Yeah.
Can
negotiate.
I wasn't in class enough.
You
to
didn't tell
negotiate.
me.
Oh yeah, no, there was it was the other unit. My tutor in Japanese was actually doing an undergrad psych unit. She was in neuroscience, I think. It wasn't the stats one that I failed. But oh man, if she was teaching the stats one, she would have probably failed me for the Japanese as well, just to spite me. The best part of uni is probably kendo.
Oh, yes.
That was good. The friends that I made there still hang out with these days, and although no, that kind of group has gone all over the place. It's just
Like
separated.
an STI. That would give
Yeah,
that.
it's all over my body, Henry.
Sorry. I like just totally ruined your friendship. Like, yeah, okay. No, so kendo was good. Because
Yeah, it was very fun. I just kind of wish I took it more seriously. I kind of stopped a few months after I got my armor. I got a bad fungal infection on my foot,
You're
and
taken out by a fungus.
yeah,
But wrapping up, I guess time for
Yeah,
wrap
we
up.
went through everyone's experiences. Yeah, that's fucking uni. It's kind of like taking everybody back down.
Memory
Like,
lane.
not so long ago, memory lane.
not so long ago.
Trip down memory lane. I haven't embraced their closing thoughts. Does anybody want to do theirs first? Oh shit, stepping up, Pat. Let's
She's
go.
Stepping up to the plate.
I guess like what I said before, it's what you make of it. Don't worry too much about finishing, like how long a degree is and finishing on time per se, and in relation to your peers. If you're studying a degree and you're not feeling it, and you think that maybe another degree is more suitable for you, then make that switch. There's also the argument of you finishing that degree first and then moving on to it after, and then you've got that degree. But I think don't waste that time. If you're feeling it, make that switch. Be brave, like Ivan was saying, and a lot of us were saying, and do what you at the time think that you may be passionate about, and really go for it and see where it takes you. You don't know until you take that step and pursue it. Yeah, like take your time. Don't feel pressured to conform to a timeline set by society and your peers. Everyone will have differences in when they will find what they love and when they will blossom. So
Blossom. I love that word.
we shall all blossom one day. Yes, that's all I've got.
Michael?
I totally agree with Patrick, but my words of wisdom.
Your takeaway message.
My takeaway message.
Chinese takeout message.
That's right. I reckon try to do extra curriculum activities.
Yes.
Early when you're in
Yes.
high school or when you're even in primary school. Do more stuff. Do stuff that's outside school.
Definitely
do stuff
agree.
so that you will find interesting to you, that you enjoy doing. And I think the more different things that you experience, the more easy it is for you to find out what you will love.
You know, there are professional jobs in literally anything. You
Yeah,
can-
whatever it is, as long as you
So-
work at it.
That's right. Whatever it is, whatever you love, find it early. Once you find it, do it, go for it, and really work hard for it. Yeah. That's it.
My kind of closing thoughts, I suppose, is it's basically echoing Pat's point and Ivan's point. Yeah, don't worry about those around you. If you're still in uni and you're still going through uni, don't worry too much about those people around you and what their path is or what they're choosing for subjects or whatever. Like, kind of think for yourself where you want to go and how you want to kind of, in a sense, define your own journey. Don't be too influenced by other people, you know, like what Pat said by that, you know, timeline, you know, oh, got to finish this undergrad or got to do these subjects because my friend's doing it or whatever. Really try and seek out what you like, what you don't like as well, more importantly, on the converse. And yeah, like if you need to change courses or you feel like you want to change courses, go for it. A lot of people in first year, like this goes back to what Ivan said earlier on, a lot of people who go to uni and choose that first course, they don't actually end up finishing that first course. The rate of transfer amongst first year students to other subjects is extremely high, and that's very common, and it's completely understandable because, you know, not everybody knows what they want to do. Not everybody has a clear idea, and that's completely fine.
You got to make that opportunity.
You got to make that opportunity. That's correct. You got to make it too.
Dennis?
I guess pretty much everything I've wanted to say has been said before, but I'll make this short. Basically, use your time wisely. It's the only real commodity out there that really exists that you have complete control of. Use your time wisely.
All right. Well, this episode is a bit interesting. We actually have we had 7 guests, if you were able to count. 7 fucking guests all on at once. So there was a lot of people to go through, a lot of people to speak.
That's a big orgy.
Yeah, it was quite a big orgy. 7's a lucky number. Yeah. So I mean, thanks for listening. As always, 4th episode of Chinese Whispers, and
as promised.
Harry, what's
Harry? as promised. What?
Oh yeah. Sound a bit false. Ooh yeah.
I just imagine the Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You guys have seen that movie, right?
Yes.
It's a fucking great movie. I love
great
it.
movie.
Ferris Bueller's Day Out.
Yes, go
Yes,
home.
sorry.
Turn off this podcast. What are you still doing here?
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and that's the 4th episode of Chinese Whispers. Say bye, guys.
Did you have closing thoughts, by the way?
Oh,
maybe you can just edit that in, just so we don't.
No.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, just kidding. That wasn't the end. we got Harry's closing thoughts. We totally fucking forgot.
Okay, for you students going into uni right now, just at your first lecture, keep this thought in your mind. Look to your left, look to your right.
Oh shit, something profound's gonna happen.
You will not see these people with you in the graduation hall. But hopefully, you'll make them friends and they will be outside with you afterwards, taking photos and shit.
Words of wisdom. Yeah, it's now 12:35, and that's the end of the ep. Thanks, guys. See ya. Say bye, guys. Again.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Love for the very
So what do you think about all this, Grace? You're like, right, I didn't sign up for this. Time to leave.
It's alright.
But yeah, everybody just feel free to talk over one another, interject, be a host in your own right, a co-host in your own right. And one more thing that I want to improve upon is,
Good work.
I forgot. No, I actually wrote this down on a notepad, but
turn
it's
off
on my
our phones.
computer.
And there's one more thing we have to do. Fuck.
Did that
You might want to leave for this.
Damn, that's good be real.